So this is Nick Williams here again with Jeff. Hi Jeff.
Hi. Good to be here.
Great. We thought we'd have a little chat about, what on earth does it mean to talk about the evolution of consciousness? Some people talk about, that, perhaps humanity is evolving. But what does that mean? Let's have a conversation. Do you have a sense of what evolution of consciousness means?
Yeah, I think we're all evolving, and we're all basically evolving back to oneness. And it's a journey that all of us are going to take in one form or another. And it's basically just returning to an understanding of who you are, which really means the whole evolution part of it is actually an evolution in integrity. That actually, as we're evolving, we become more and more honest about who we are and the power that we have and the effect that we can have on our lives and the lives of the people around us. So, evolution in integrity and honesty about our real makeup, who we really are.
That's interesting. So the kind of journey, as I understand it, is we are one. We always were. We've kind of fallen asleep, and now we're kind of waking up again.
Yeah.
So it's one way of it I had it expressed was like it's a journey with no distance to a place we never left. That kind of idea. We're only going home.
Exactly. But then that's one model, and you can use another model, which is like we were one, and then there was the Big Bang, and then we became the universe, and at some point we'll shrink back and go back to being the one again. That's a sort of macro level of looking at it.
So what would our experience? How can we tell how kind of where we're evolving in terms of our experience? My sense is that as we evolve, we're going to feel less victimised. And less that things happen to us.
Absolutely.
And more that we are kind of a master of our own destiny, or we're a co-creator of our own life. And perhaps we've always done that, but we just haven't realised we've done it. So we're going to become more conscious creators of our experience. Is that how
Absolutely.
You see it?
Yeah, and experience and consciousness are the same things. It's like how you experience your world reflects your level of consciousness. So at a high level of consciousness, you can you experience joy and happiness and almost transcendence, which is actually an experience. So as we grow in consciousness, evolution in consciousness is we're just growing where we have greater and greater experiences of life. And most people, if you looked at their experience of their life, their life is threatening and it's difficult, and they've got to work hard, and there are not many pleasures in it, and they're certainly not a great adventure.
No, so it's not an adventure. They feel mainly fearful, and victimised to some extent, not powerful.
Absolutely, and which talks about that's a very low level of consciousness. That's a very low level of experience. That's hardly raised at all.
So how do we actually evolve then? If we want to consciously evolve, and not out of a place of judgment of saying, well, that's bad and I want to be somewhere else, but just going, hey, that's where I am and I want to evolve. What in your line of work are your kind of teachings for how you evolve?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to simple choice in the end, Nick. People need to choose to evolve. And it's all that belief that things actually could be better, and that there are better ways of being, and there are better ways of living, and there are better experiences out there. And no matter how good your life is, there's always a better way. It doesn't matter how good your relationship is, it could always get better.
I guess for some people it's it's perhaps even the awareness that it can get better.
Yeah.
And then how it can get better.
Yeah.
So firstly it's a choice. Is it a lot about kind of having to look at what's been out of your conscious mind? In your world, I know that's a lot of what you do is help people become aware of what they've not been aware of.
Yeah.
Subconscious patterns and unconscious patterns.
Absolutely. And but happiness, I wouldn't personally go to a seminar that teaches success and happiness, because I think that's a natural state of human mind. If we were free of all our psychology and all that stuff, we would naturally be successful and happy.
That's our essence, is naturally talented, gifted, successful.
Yeah, and we'd be having these amazing experiences and our consciousness be raised. But every time we suffered a trauma as a child, or as a grown-up, doesn't matter when, it's kind of like it halts that process. It stops that expansion.
So what we do is build our ego, which blocks our naturalness.
Yes. So it's like clearing the, you know, detritus off the top of our life, and then allow that natural evolution. And I think it would be natural that we would just evolve in consciousness. And we're going to do that anyway. I mean, it's just, that's where humanity's going back to, like you say, and it's just a matter of time when it happens.
So the best thing each of us can do if we want to help the people around us is for us to evolve.
Absolutely.
So that we become more of an inspiration and more of a safe, inspiring person to be around.
Absolutely.
The more we share our gifts, the more we'll inspire others to share their gifts. And the more good we feel about ourselves, the more we'll encourage others to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, and being like that, you will naturally then attract other people that desire that. And I think that in terms of, you know, your success or being a leader or being a messenger, it's having that kind of energy that attracts the people to you that also want to have that experience or consciousness. So the first thing is, yes, to raise your own consciousness and have those, be able to contain those experiences. I mean, it's actually difficult to be joyful for longer than a few minutes. I mean, just really joyful. Because it's like, you know, your whole body starts changing, you start buzzing. And to have that much energy, it's, you know...
Yeah, so it's the courage to really have a lot of energy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so we've touched on this, but, you know, to be joyful, to be happy is actually a really courageous, generous leadership thing to do. And on one hand, it seems so simple and so obvious, but...
Absolutely.
That can change the world.
Absolutely. And for me, I mean, going back for me, when I started on this journey, it was that choice when I asked myself, when was the last time I was truly happy? And I couldn't answer that question. That was 20 years ago. And now it happens almost daily.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
And what's the tip? Just clear the stuff.
Just clear the stuff. Just keep working on it, get to know yourself, and start allowing your mind to expand, because that's what consciousness is. You expand your mind and allow yourself to have all kinds of experiences. Don't fight the bad ones, don't run for the good ones, just have those experiences, and they will grow your consciousness. And the bigger it gets, the more you'll be able to contain, the more you'll be able to fulfill.
I love the idea that you've kind of, you know, we've touched on here, which is that our wholeness already exists, and we're just kind of ditching the ballast so that our naturalness can emerge, and that feels like a much kind of more graceful journey in a way, you know, than trying to make ourselves become something. We're not trying to become something, we're just trying to stop being what we're not so that we can be who we are.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So that's what evolution is, really. It's just getting the ballast off so that our natural self can emerge.
Yeah. I couldn't say
End of conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks, Jeff. Hope you've enjoyed watching this.
Thank you.